Happy Friday to everybody. It's the end of the week. It's been an exhausting week for all of us, I think.
Happy Friday to you.
I mean, I need
That sounded good.
That was really great. Thank you.
So this finishes up the Democratic convention for the week, and after 3 nights of foreplay, Hillary Clinton finally brought the DNC to completion. Take a look.
Don't let anyone tell you that our country is weak. We're not. Don't let anyone tell you we don't have what it takes. We do. And most of all, don't believe anyone who says, I alone can fix it.
Okay.
What I really wanted her to say was, and don't believe the hype. Like, that's all I wanted Hillary to say right after that. Just don't believe the hype. She was spectacular.
Well, they did pretty much, everybody did say something like that. Bloomberg said it's a con job. They really did pretty much destroy him, I thought.
Yeah.
Donald Trump.
Too, and I think, you know, a lot of other people picked up on this as well. You know, she said, don't believe anyone that says I alone can fix it. But, you know, she's taken a lot of criticism for her slogan, which was that I'm with her instead of she's with us. And then you saw the Trump campaign kind of pounce on that as well and say that I'm with you. So they're trying to pounce on that as well.
But doesn't that mean that I'm with her, not she? Not it's.
But instead of she's with us or I'm with you, it's a different message.
I'm with her is from her fans.
Yeah.
From people who like her. I'm with her.
Yeah,
right. But it's different to say I'm with her than she's with us. Do you see the difference there?
Well, she said that many times.
Well, but that's not her slogan. I'm just saying that a lot of people are picking up on that and drawing the.
And what's the negative about that?
The negative is that instead of saying, "Hey guys, I'm with you, but you're with me." Do you know what I'm saying?
She's not saying it.
You know,
that's her slogan.
Yeah. She's not saying it. The audience is saying it. Her people.
Her hashtag, her slogan is "I'm with her."
Okay, whatever.
Can I say one of the things that I really liked that she said last night was something that I always say here, and I don't think I always get my point across, but I think she really, you know, put it in the right sentence. She says, caring is not enough. To drive real progress, you have to change both hearts and laws. You need both understanding and action. And I say that all the time. There's a lot of stuff going on, and people are like, you need to understand my point of view. You need to understand my point of view, and I'm going to make a law about it. But that doesn't change the hearts of the people. So you're still going to find bigotry. You're still going to find misunderstanding with different cultures that you don't agree with, because it's about the heart, not only the mind.
But it's also about the economy. Which I just want to make one point in this entire segment, which is that she said, I've gone around the country talking to working families, and I've heard from so many of you who feel like the economy just isn't working. She's directly speaking to Trump's people who are disenfranchised and upset. I just checked with Moody's, which is an independent leading economic researchers. Extremely important information from them, reputable. They say Hillary's proposals would create over 10 million jobs during her presidency, and the GDP growth would accelerate. Their report last month on Trump predicted a disastrous economic downturn leading to a prolonged recession with a 7% jump in unemployment.
So wait,
do you hear what I'm saying?
That's quite a contrast, but you know what, Joy? At least you had the opportunity after listening to her speech to hear what her policies would be, right? Because that's the thing. Yes. When I think about a true democracy and I think about two parties against each other, it's a contest of ideas. It's a contest of policy. And I didn't hear anything from Trump during his speech, which was, by the way, 75 minutes. But with Hillary's speech, which was 66 minutes, I thought it was a little long. She mentioned infrastructure investment, vocational schools for jobs, which we talked about here at the table yesterday, relief of student debt, taxation of the super wealthy, and affordable access to college education, including how she would help the economy and get jobs. Voting restructuring. That's right. So where are the Republican policies, Jed?
I found it. Okay, let me give my take on the speech. I found the speech polarizing, honestly. And I commended President Obama's speech here this week, and I talked about why, because I felt that he used it as a source of outreach, that people like me who are independent felt welcomed into that speech. He quoted Ronald Reagan. It was a very welcoming speech. This, I felt, was an outreach to Bernie Sanders supporters. I think it was a hard left speech. I felt it was a progressive speech. There was nothing in there for me except big government rhetoric. I think her delivery is poor. I don't think this was her best moment.
Delivery was poor.
Let me just say, I think that the convention in itself, the Democrat convention, was very good for her. But I think she's not carrying it. It's not about her. She's, as a headliner, she was not the star. The surrounding speeches were, and I think it will help her, but not because of herself. As far as policy, I heard a lot of policy at the Republican convention. I heard they talked about terrorism. If you look at Trump's tax policy, and it's everywhere, you can look at it and you can see that people who are in low-income brackets are going to get tax breaks. That is not a tax policy.
During the 75 minutes, Jed?
She said the same thing. I've heard her say this 50
but the fact
times.
remains what I just read to you. He's going to drive unemployment up 7%. She's going to create 10 million jobs.
Do you know what I didn't hear? No, that's...
I don't care what he says. I don't care what he says.
We were talking too, because I agree. I don't fault her for. I mean, you have former President Bill Clinton and President Obama, who are so cogent and magniloquent, and they speak and they connect with people. I mean, that's not her strength, and she's admitted it. But the thing that could hurt her is those that are trying to sell her as a change maker, because clearly there's some strong populism going on in our country. People don't want more of the same. And when you say cast yourself as a change maker, yet you spent your entire career in politics, and but you've spent your entire career in politics, and you've made it clear that your administration and you've made it clear that your administration is going to be an extension of the previous administration. People don't want to hear that right now in the country.
Well, they should listen to that, because the house is built already. The foundation is laid. This guy wants to just burn the whole house down because the roof needs to be put on.
The change that was there, to me, the change that was there was not just in her speech, right? The change that was there was not just in her speech. The change was when you looked into the audience. I never saw so many cultures sitting next to each other and celebrating with each other. There was every color. If anything, the DNC needs to be what every commercial and television show needs to look like, because that's what America looks like.
Okay, let me go to this. So, 2 Muslim parents whose son was a U.S. soldier killed while serving in Iraq took direct aim at Trump's record of service to our country. Take a look at this.
Let me ask you, have you even read the United States Constitution? I will gladly lend you my copy. You have sacrificed nothing and no one.
You have sacrificed nothing and no one.
And
that is a pivotal moment.
And that is because he sacrificed his son for democracy. He sacrificed his son. Remember, his son, Captain Khan, was killed by a car bomb in Iraq in 2004 while he was inspecting soldiers on duty. So his son gave the ultimate sacrifice, his life. That family doesn't have a son, and he is Muslim. That's what was so striking to me. That I cried during that speech, and to Raven's point, I mean, the fact that they were up there as Democrats talking about Americans. As Americans. And by the way, there are 3.3 million Muslim Americans here in the United States. 14 American Muslim soldiers died in the decade following 9/11. They've all fought in major U.S. wars, including the war in Iraq and Afghanistan.
But I don't think he's read the Constitution. He's ghost read it, maybe.
Maybe.
But I don't think he actually read it.
See, that's unifying, though, to me, because there are no sane Republican backed that policy. When Donald Trump came out and said, oh, ban all Muslims, he quickly had to change that.
I think a lot of them backed him.
He quickly changed it to, let's ban Muslims coming from terrorist havens. He had to put a clarifier in. And that's because people on the right were outraged, who said, this is the United States of America, and we protect people's religious freedom.
They're still backing him, those people.
This is what I'm talking about, though, in terms of a speech, though. That guy reached out to people, both sides of the aisle, who were outraged by discrimination and could stand and say, Republican, Democrat, I don't care what you stand for, this is not what America stands for. That's what I wanted to see from Hillary, and I did not see that.
At the end of the day, Jedediah, it's a speech. It's policy that counts. It's what are you going to do.
It's her record that counts, which she conventionally did not talk about. I didn't hear about the Russian reset that stunk. I didn't hear about the Iranian nuke deal, the Russian...
Why would you talk about things that don't look good on your record? Because the time that you're supposed to make people like you.
That's the problem. Her whole foreign policy record is a disaster in Libya with Iran. It is. There's tons of deceit.
Go ahead, Joe.
If you say, though, it's just a speech, though, if it's just a speech, then why are we being so critical of Donald Trump and not her?
Because he has no policy.
It's just a speech. But you just said it's just a speech.
No, but his speech was stupid also. And his policies don't exist. We're talking about a double whammy. It's two treats in one.
Or can we talk about the fact that Bill Clinton loved the balloons? Did you guys get Bill Clinton? He took the balloon from the kid. He loved it. He loved the balloons.
You can't take the balloon from the kid. Finish your thought, because they're yelling in my ear. Let Jedediah finish. So
Well, no, I'm saying if Trump had, we talk about Trump's business record and we talk about his bankruptcies and that being a problem. She was Secretary of State. Her major accomplishment is supposed to be her foreign policy record.
Yes.
Libya is a disaster. The Russian reset is a disaster. The Iranian nuke deal is a disaster. She lied about Benghazi.
But she doesn't
Tell
make
me
fun
why
of
I'm supposed to trust her.
She doesn't
to
make
take
fun of
care
handicapped
ISIS.
people. She doesn't make fun of handicapped people, and she doesn't promote violence.
All of that may even be true. Some of it might be true. Some of it doesn't. At least she's not treasonous. She's okay. And we'll be right back with more hot topics.
Coming up, why Kanye West says his wife Kim is as artistic as Adele. So the ladies were talking dating and hot topics.
I went on a date and I had to leave. He was kind and sweet, but he was a boring dude.
Enjoy.
Have you ever had a bad date?
You know, I've had so few dates in my life.
You're not a dater?
I just get married.
I used to do the same thing.
Oh, yeah. Make a date with the view. All new next week on ABC. Later, Oscar winner Marisa Tomei's talking back to the fanboys who say she's too hot to play Spider-Man's aunt.
So yesterday, I showed you some of the people I talked to at the DNC on Wednesday night. And today, I want to show you just a little of my conversation with former Speaker Nancy Pelosi. Watch.
Nobody knows better than Donald Trump that he should not be president of the United States.
He knows it.
He knows it. And he tries to tell us every day, one way or another. It's as if he's crying for help.
What you're saying is interesting, that every time he opens his mouth, he's saying to the American people, don't vote for me.
Don't vote for me.
Don't do this to the country. Why doesn't he just back out?
Well, I hope he stays in, because for us, he's a gift that keeps on giving. He helps us win Democratic seats. You know.
But I mean, there's a possibility, Nancy, that he could win.
No, he's not going to win.
It's impossible.
He's not going to win. He is not going to win. Don't worry about that.
Well, she could be in denial. I hope not. But do you think that Trump unconsciously wants to lose, because he's sabotaging his own campaign in so many ways?
He steps in it more than, I mean, he's the one that's hurting himself more than I think anybody else.
And yet
But he's
people
not
still
hurting
want him.
himself. I'm sorry. He's the nominee.
It looks like
People
it.
are
He steps in it
for his
a lot.
campaign, for his Republican. Everybody's voting for him. That's what my parents used to do. Don't eat that broccoli. Don't eat it. It doesn't taste good. Don't eat the broccoli. And what do? You taste the broccoli. That's what he's doing. He's just reverse psychology.
When he says things like, I'm in bed with Putin, basically, to put it in a nutshell, that should send up all sorts of flares that he is possibly a traitor, number one.
I actually think he got into this race for all the reasons, like, you know, he wanted his celebrity apprentice show to do better. He wanted his business to do better. And then I think now he's in a position like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
They nominated me.
Yeah.
And now I think he's trying to convince himself that he's going to be a good president.
Remember when I told you I ran into him at Radio City at the Adele concert?
Yes.
And he said to me, this was when we were still speaking.
It was recently. It was in the fall.
No, it was very early on, and I was still friendly with him before I realized the stuff that came out of him. And he said, can you believe the poll numbers? He was like a kid, like, oh, I'm at FAO Schwartz.
It's like true narcissism, right? But Jed, I gotta say, I'm trying not to say it, but it really got under my skin, the last segment.
She's itchy. Look, she says.
It really got under my skin because Jed is sort of outlining all of Hillary's alleged failures during her term as Secretary of State. But the bottom line is she took the reins from a Bush administration that had our reputation abroad in the toilet, and she changed that. Wait. She changed it around. She was key in rebuilding our leadership around the world. Her role in killing Osama bin Laden and recommending that to the president, her China speech on women, aggressive work on climate change, which the Republicans and Trump don't even believe exists. She was the principal author of the toughest sanctions in Iran that brought Iran to the table so that they don't have nuclear weapons. So
And
don't
she negotiated
say
a peace agreement with Israel and Hamas.
So don't say that her term was full of failures, because that's just not true, Jed.
I mean, look at ISIS. Look what's going on. Do you think that ISIS has been afraid of this administration? Do you think when you have an Iranian deal that you have dictators around the world saying, well done, the United States, you had dictators coming out and saying, we support this deal, because it gave Iran time to look and see, you know what, if we want to clear some stuff out, that might be problematic, we have enough time to do that.
Why is it all on her? It's an entire war.
I'm just saying it's part of her record. This was her, she's throwing that out there as
anybody but Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton.
That's it. And I judge him all
You're
day long.
misrepresenting her record.
I don't think so.
And I think I just set the record straight.
Anyone who follows ISIS and terrorism, I don't think so. I don't think so.
My husband just texted me, you go, Sonny.
We'll be right back.
Later, a dating show where singles make out while blindfolded. The latest reality series that puts a real kink in looking for love.
Welcome back. Okay, TMZ is reporting that Justin Bieber turned down a $5 million payday to play during the GOP convention last week because his manager, Scooter Braun, or Braun, as in Ava Braun, I guess, said he'd stop working for him if he took the gig. How do you like that?
Wow.
Wow, Justin. But I don't know if Justin felt the same way, but he definitely listened to the manager.
Yeah.
Did you ever do that?
What's most surprising is that a $5 million single payday would have been his biggest payday. That number was surprising. I didn't
mean for Bieber?
Yeah, for Bieber. I would have thought.
Yeah, but in the long run, he is estimated at $60 to $80 million per year. So I'm sure like $5 million is kind of like nothing. So
I mean, I support him for doing that, though. If you got to stand for something. I mean, I remember getting offers to do endorsements, and it would be for products. I'm like a clean, green girl. Like, I like organic products, organic food, so I read labels. I care about that stuff. I care about the environment. So it was to support products that didn't follow that, and I couldn't, for any amount of money, I wouldn't support that. That's not who I am. So if he has a problem with the messaging at the GOP convention, then more power to him for being like, that's not what I'm about.
I don't know if it was so much he had a problem, but his manager said he would quit. He would stop working for him.
And Scooter found him and made him, along with Usher, Justin. So Justin knows better than to leave.
And isn't his band predominantly African-American? And they were troubled by playing at the GOP convention as well, which is a shame that they feel that they cannot support the entire convention because of sort of the misogyny and the racism that has come.
Well, what about Scott Baio? They had him.
Yeah. He was in charge.
They had Chachi, and they had Antonio Sabato Jr., who thinks that President Obama is a Muslim. Yeah, he's a brain trust also.
I think it's also like branding, though. You know, some Hollywood, I feel like some people in Hollywood are afraid, even if they agreed with, say, the Republican message, they would feel that it would affect their brand negatively, and they wouldn't be well received when they went back to Hollywood to do their job. That's what I've heard some celebrities say to me.
It depends on what it is, because you also had Susan Sarandon there, who was a Bernie fan altogether, and she got backlash and still is. But at the same time, you have Justin Bieber, who won. I don't know what he did for this campaign politically. I don't know if he went out and rocked the vote, or if they still do that.
He's Canadian. I mean, he has dual citizenship, but nobody really knows if he's registered in this country. No, but he says he doesn't have a horse in this race. That's what he said.
But he gets his money in this country, so maybe you should have something else in this country. Make some get your 8 million followers that are on your Instagram to vote, since they're of age in some cases. But it is about branding. It is about where you're going to go after you finish that product, and it's also about the products that want you. I mean, I'm surprised I didn't see him anywhere. Katy Perry was awesome, and her dress was great.
Katy Perry was so great.
I liked it.
She said something so important. She said on November 8th, which is Election Day, you out there have as much power as an NRA lobbyist because you can vote.
Yeah.
I thought it was brilliant.
I thought you were going to say that her most powerful words were, "Baby, you're a firework."
Well, that's it. I thought that was
is her most powerful.
But I thought that was just right on the money. You know, you have as much power as an NRA lobbyist on election day. That's great.
I have a quick story. There wasn't going to be any money involved, but there was a pretty prestigious Christian university that wanted me to come speak, and I had to turn it down because of the way that this particular university was posturing women. They don't believe that women should be able to preach from the pulpit, and that's just not where I am, and I didn't want to go and condone that. And so I had to, yes, we agreed on a lot of other things, but for me, especially female leadership in the church is very important to me, and it's something that I want to promote, and I just couldn't go and align myself with
Well, you
that.
could have gotten up there and said that you thought that particular policy was not good.
Oh, they
you
don't
do
give
that?
you your money if you do that.
They don't give you your money?
They're not going to get your money if you say no to that.
You know, that was it's like two different ways to handle it.
Well, you say it in a way that's, you know, that they might like.
One thing I wouldn't confuse it with, I remember when Rand Paul was speaking at universities, he made a point of going to liberal universities where his message wouldn't necessarily be well received initially, but he wound up convincing a lot of people, because him on privacy rights and on a lot of issues, they wound up with people in the audience saying, hold on, I misjudged him and what he represents. And if you go into a room of 200 people and 5 people leave rethinking what you had to say, I think that's an accomplishment.
But that's also a branding thing. That's knowing that that audience has the chance to actually open their mind up. You know what I'm saying? You don't go into a room where you know you're going to get booed. That's why they always say in entertainment, don't say, how am I doing? Because you might get a boo.
What I do appreciate about Justin Bieber, he has through the years received so much bad press and so much flack for his bad boy behavior, and now he gets the kudos for doing something right or standing by principle.
His manager, really, more than him. All right, when we come back, I want to talk about Kim Kardashian. We'll be right back. Welcome back to The View. So, what do Kim Kardashian and Mona Lisa have in common? In an interview with Harper's Bazaar, Kanye West compares his wife Kim Kardashian's nude selfies to works of art, like Renaissance paintings, and he says if Kim didn't post them, it would be like Adele not singing. I'm sure Adele's in love with that statement. Is he what do you think? Is he overstating things a bit here or what?
I fell in love with that couple in this interview. I'm sorry. I did. I liked it. I don't understand because I don't have as much money as you guys, but there is a different mentality when you've gained that much money, the way he did and the way she did, and how they have to conduct themselves in the world. Okay, let's just keep that in our minds, first of all.
What, that they're loaded? That's what you mean? I'm not following.
You can say it that way. Most people think that celebrities, oh my God, you have so much money, the world is super amazing, you don't have to worry about anything, but it is a job still, and there's still some difficulties that go with it. And let's not forget that he lost his mother and went right back to work right away. You know, Kim has had her loss in her life as well. But this interview, I agree. I am a Kim fan now. She is a piece of artwork. She has molded her body with everything she says she does, exercising in the morning, because she also talks about that, and whatever else she chooses, contour, to mold her body into something beautiful. And you always need a sex symbol at a certain time in our world. But one of my favorite things that they said, and some people are gonna laugh, I laughed, but I was like, you're great, Kanye. Thank you. He said on how they asked him how they would like to be remembered, and Kim said, I'd like to be remembered as someone who is smart in business, works hard, and can be sexy, and a mom. Kanye, my new best friend, said, I was going to say that whole thing about global warming and how we're all going to be gone.
Oh my God,
thought that was amazing. The fact that he wants to say something controversial and he does not care. He does not care what anybody thinks. He's going to say whatever he wants to and let it be. And I don't know, I just commend him for it, no matter how crazy it might sound.
What about the rest of you?
Did you like what he said also about what would you do if you were invisible? And he said, I would go into a women's locker room. That's a little creepy.
I'm sorry, I've heard every boy that I've ever been friends with say that same thing.
That's true. I've heard.
I mean, how about this?
Good point.
I thought the interview was a little creepy.
I loved it.
I'll be honest, and a little weird. They asked them their hidden talent. So Kim says, "I can smell when someone has a cavity."
Don't be mad at her.
Funny.
Don't be mad at Kim. She said it's a different kind of
Even
smell.
like anatomically and physiologically possible to smell a cavity?
I bet a dog.
Kanye's is even more.
Sounds like bad breath to me.
Yeah, Kanye's is more troublesome to me. His hidden talent is that he can analyze people's intentions.
First of all, that's a great talent. I'm sticking up for my boy Kanye. My favorite thing is when you walk into a room with someone, if you're able to see something before they walk into a room, okay, what are you trying to get out of me before you try to get what you're about to get out of me with some BS? That is exactly amazing. It just take away the fact that, you know, he's a little crazy with his sentence structure, but it's amazing. I'm sorry.
I liked it because I felt like it was a real moment. I felt like they were saying things that a lot of us would be like, what are they talking about? But they didn't care.
I'm still thinking, what are they talking about?
But I also like with him, he's crazy about her. Yeah. He is nuts about her. And the fact that somebody's man thinks that their body is a work of art, I think that's pretty cool.
Well, you know what? Wait a second.
Cool.
Steve, wait a second. Steve told me I look like a Picasso.
So you're worth a lot of money, Joy. You're worth a lot of money.
Joy, it's because you're priceless.
Wait a second. Okay, do we have time to do another topic? No, we'll be right back.
Oscar winner Marisa Tomei on her on-screen reunion with her former flame, Robert Downey Jr., next. Next week on The View, can you handle a full day of hot topics? And anything goes when these guests hit the table. Plus, Whoopi's hanging with one of the coolest CEOs and her robot. Wow. Next week on The View on ABC.
She's an Oscar-winning superstar who can play everything from a New Yorker with attitude and My Cousin Vinny to a business-savvy billionaire on the hit series Empire. Please welcome the lovely and talented Marisa Tomei. How are you?
I'm good. Good. How you doing?
Good. Having a nice summer?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Having a lovely summer.
The last time that you saw any of the hosts on The View was at a party for Empire, as a matter of fact, where you played this lesbian girl there, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mimi White Man. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you Instagrammed this photo with you and some of the other hosts. Whoopi, Raven, Mariah Carey was there. Where am I? Why wasn't I don't see my face.
Why wasn't I?
Why wasn't I
Where's my invite?
Yeah, Sonny, where about you?
I wasn't there, but I love the show.
Yeah, it's a great show. You're having a great time.
It was Lee's birthday party, and it was, I mean, it was a small celebration, but it was also
Lee
Daniels, the director of Empire.
Yeah.
You do such a great job on the show. I mean, just so fantastic.
Like my little outfit.
Oh, but your outfits are terrific. And she's a boss, too.
She is a boss.
Right?
That part I had to work harder on. I had to kind of be like, do I sound authoritative?
Is that your natural bent?
No.
You know, I know you've done a lot of work, but one of the things that I know that you've done is you've worked with Gary Marshall a lot, who recently passed away. Tell us a little bit about Gary. Do you know?
Well, I mean, I adore him.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that face. I mean, it tells you everything. The sweetness and the openness and the readiness to laugh. But he gave me my first job, so that's how I knew him.
Which job was that?
Flamingo Kid.
Oh, Flamingo.
I mean, I think I might have one line.
Matt Dillon. Wonderful movie.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Yeah, I met a lot of friends that are still friends with me. You know, they were all friends from that time. But really, he promoted me even. I was kind of like a little bit of an extra. I mean, I really basically was an extra, but then he gave me a line, and so I was able to have a SAG part and all that stuff. So he brought me into the fold. He was such a great prankster and had so much. At the end of when it was time to say goodbye, whenever you were wrapped, he would throw a pie in your face.
Really?
The only time I got a pie thrown in my face. It was so much fun. Yeah. Matt Dillon did throw it in my face. A little bit better.
Marisa,
he ordered it.
I am a superhero fanatic. I don't know if you know this. Peter Parker's my boyfriend. I tell that to everybody in my mind. But you were recently in Captain America: Civil War. You're going to be in the new, amazing job, amazing. You're going to be in the new Spider-Man movie, and you've gotten some criticism about this role of Aunt May. Some say in the comic, she's older. They say you're too young, you're too hot. What's your response to that? That's Aunt May from the comic. You're way younger and hotter than that.
But by the time they put all the makeup on me, I'm going to look like that. I'm just kidding. They're not going to do it. I guess I'll take that kind of criticism. What can I say?
Yeah. Do you think you can do justice to the role, being a younger, hotter version of that character?
I mean, she's not his aunt by blood. She's his aunt by marriage. So it really could be any age. And I think it's just essential that she cares about him. She's maternal, and she's keeping the home fires burning, but she also has a life of her own. So I think, you know, we'll see. It's all in the wraps.
Fantastic. And we know it's going to be fantastic because you've been nominated for 3 Oscars. You won once for My Cousin Vinny, which is a lawyer. I love that. But you actually started out on the soaps, which I had no idea. You started out on As the World Turns, and we have a clip of it with fellow Oscar-winning actress Julianne Moore. So take a peek.
Randy, I think he really likes me.
Why does that surprise you?
Why does it surprise me? It surprises me because he is gorgeous, and he is fun, and he's smart, and he's wonderful, and he's English. Not that it all won't end tomorrow, though.
Right. Tomorrow your ugly stepsisters start bossing you around again.
No. I'm gonna hang on to my little glass slipper this time.
Wow. What do you remember about that?
I mean, first of all, I can't see very far without my glasses, but I got
What the hell are you wearing?
Looks like a dress.
a lot of dress.
Well, your friend Julianne was recently here, and she has a message for you. Take a look.
Hi, Marisa. It's me, your scene partner from like 30 years ago. Anyway, you haven't changed a bit, and hopefully my acting has improved. Hi.
What I think about myself, right?
I'd say your acting, both of your acting has improved.
You also got rave reviews for a play that you were just in. You wrapped it in the Berkshires, Tennessee Williams, The Rose Tattoo. What's different doing a play on Broadway versus doing a play in the middle of the woods?
Well, the chipmunks liked it. Yeah. No, I mean, it's traditional that you would start things. I mean, in the course of time, it's wonderful and traditional to try things out of town or out of state and bring it in as you prepare a show for New York. So we were lucky to have that space and time to workshop it and work on it and develop it and bring it to those audiences and to see what worked and what didn't work.
Now you're working with our sponsor, Restasis, which is eye drops, right? I use that.
Yes. Oh, you
so tell us about that.
Well, speaking of the Berkshires, thank God I had found Restasis before I got up there, because for a while I'd been thinking that there was some kind of grit in my eye, or there's a little bit tightness, tiredness in my eyes, and if I hadn't found Restasis before that, I probably would have thought maybe it was allergies or just kept writing it off and been uncomfortable. But Restasis, you use it twice a day, and it helps your body produce its own natural tears.
Yeah.
And so you have relief. It's really, really, really easy, and you can find out more about it at Restasis.com if that's something, or talk to your doctor about it. But the really nice thing, in addition to that, and if you're wondering if you are a candidate for this, there's a quiz on Restasis.com to take, and it will tell you. But that quiz, for every quiz that's taken, $1 is given to Guide Dogs for the Blind. Allergen donates that money. And so it supports people and pairs them with guide dogs, the visually impaired and the blind. And it's a totally free service. Totally. If so, anyone who needs that service, it won't cost them anything at all.
Very good. Great. That's good. Lovely to see you again. Good luck with everything. Our thanks to Marisa Tomei, and we'll be right back.
This segment is brought to you by Allergan, the makers of Restasis. Monday, Unreal stars Constance Zimmer and Shiri Appleby on the hit show that blows the lid off reality TV. And View Your Deals got your summer fling with beauty and bling. We partnered with vendors for up to 74% off, plus free shipping.
That was Sonny Hostin doing the dance face. She's at the face.
Doing the new Running Man.
Okay, you know, we have time for one more hot topic, and there's a new dating show called Kiss Bang Love, where singles have to make out with 10 different people while blindfolded and then choose who they want to go on a date with based on that kiss. Kinky enough for you, Paula, baby?
Well, first and foremost, I just want to know if you're required to brush your teeth or if you have to get some sort of like oral swab before you do this. Because I just want to know that it's sanitary.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it
but
could
no,
be.
it's not kinky enough for me.
Mononucleosis, hello.
But is it important, that first kiss? Like, if you have a bad first kiss, is it over?
It's a make or break for me.
Yeah,
it is.
Would you want to do this? Kiss somebody you don't even know who you're kissing?
Well, I mean, it could be interesting, though. And then when you take the blindfold off, I think we're going to set you up with Donald.
Does anybody want to kiss me and I can try to figure out who it is? No tongue. Is anybody? Okay, nobody. Oh my gosh, somebody's encroaching on me.
Shut your mouth. Close your mouth.
Who was it? Who was it? It was Jen.
All right, quickly. One more thing before we go. Raven, you just got...
I want to give a shout out to Camp Kindering for letting me come and teach an art class. I had the most amazing time of my life. You guys know I'm in art school, and I really got to teach these amazing kids a really cool YouTube that I looked up about pouring acrylic. Thank you to Sandra Posner and all of the wonderful ladies here at The View that got me there. And
Okay, and everybody else?
Oh, that's amazing. Hey, by the way, Jedediah, your boyfriend already knows we have soft lips.
Have a great day, everyone.
Oh my God.
Take a little time to enjoy The View.
Working.